Hello and welcome back to Live from the Hive with me, Katie Bessant. Today is going to be a little bit different. We're flying solo today, and I wanted to do this episode because I have been speaking with a lot of owners lately who are concerned about their bookings and don't quite know what to do. So I just wanted to share 5 top tips that you can implement straight away to generate more bookings throughout the year and hopefully for years to come as well. These sort of strategies aren't brand new things that you should be doing. These are something that you should be looking at all the time within your business. So yeah, let's get cracking. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the current market and what other owners are seeing, so that if you are also in the same boat, you know that you're not alone. So since COVID and the pandemic, there were so many new properties to the market, mine being one of them. I also set up an Airbnb at the same time, and it worked amazing, had loads of bookings. It was always fully booked, and people were renting out their garden sheds and they were being fully booked, and everyone was doing really, really well. Since things have been returning a little bit more to normal, there is still that oversupply in the market, and people have more choice of places to book. So it's really important that your property stands out from the thousands of other properties that are listed on these online travel agents such as Airbnb, Booking.com, Expedia, Verbo, TripAdvisor, and that guests book their stay with you compared to your competitors. So, one of the ways to do this, which we should all be focusing on, one of the most important parts of marketing your holiday cottage is the guest experience. It is the number one thing that you need to be looking at before you look at photography, before you look at websites, before you look at Instagram. It's really to get back to basics with who your target guest is, who's actually staying in your property, and what they need to have a fantastic experience. Because when you get that guest experience right, guests will leave a fantastic review, which was really good for all the algorithms and to encourage other guests to book with you. But it also means that they'll probably likely to recommend to a friend and also return themselves. So if you can convert them into a repeat booker, that is fantastic for you and your future bookings, and at the end of the day, your profit margin too. So, guest experience is so important. So, during this episode, or after this episode, even, I want you to really think about who your target guest is. Where do they come from? How do they arrive to your property? Are they getting the train? Are they walkers? Do they get the bus? How are they arriving at? Maybe they've got an electric car and they need EV charging. What social media channels do they consume? Who do they come on holiday with? What do they bring with them? What are they hoping to experience? What are they really looking forward to doing? And why are they actually coming on holiday in the first place? Perhaps actually they are coming for a wedding and they want to extend their stay a little bit either side. Perhaps it's somewhere that they've always been as a child and they want to revisit and create memories with their family. Really write down everything you possibly can about your target guest, because that not only helps you in your marketing messages, but it also helps you provide a really good experience. So, what amenities do they need to have a fantastic experience? For example, one of the guests that I used to have a lot with my property was Southwest Coast Path walkers. So, one of the things that I always used to do is put some hot chocolate in the room so that when they arrived after a really long, cold walk and were absolutely knackered, they could have some hot chocolate and some biscuits. And it's just those really small things that make a huge difference. I also made sure that there was a sort of a mat and a clear place for them to put their walking boots where they weren't worried, oh gosh, we're dragging mud all through the house. Really thinking about who your target guest is and how they will use your property. Again, when those guests were staying, they were sort of on a budget, and so they were having breakfast in the property before they left. So maybe look into providing some muesli or some milk, something that will, these little things that will make their experience so much better. And another way you can do this is through your guidebook. So whether you've got a digital guidebook or a physical guidebook, really talking to who your target guest is and mentioning things like, by the way, if you're walking, there's nowhere to stop for a tea or coffee. Here's a flask, or these are some options for stuff to get a picnic. And really talking to them will have a huge impact in your bookings, because your customers are the most important part of your business. The second most important thing to boost your bookings is your photography, and making sure that you are investing in professional photography. I have seen so many owners who maybe got some photography done a little while ago and it's not the best, and they should really invest in some more photos and a proper shoot. Photography is so important, and I have talked about this so many times on different podcasts, on my social media, but it's the first impression before a guest books with you, before they even have the experience in the first place. And I myself was looking for a property to stay in the other day. I was flicking through Airbnb to find somewhere, and the amount of blurry pictures I saw was so many, and I wouldn't even bother to click on the listings which had blurry pictures, because number one, I don't trust that they're real. I haven't built any trust with the host through doing that. I have actually been, a friend has been scammed in the past when they booked somewhere for us to stay with a really blurry picture. I wouldn't have booked that property, but they booked that property with a blurry picture, and it was a scam. So I am ultra careful of booking anything with blurry pictures, and I will not even open the listing. And so many people are the same. So that first picture especially is really important. And to stand out now and make that first impression amongst all the other listings, it's also really important that you stage your photos and you allow guests to picture themselves staying in your property and experiencing everything that your property has to offer. So a lot of people do this through staging the dining table for breakfast or for dinner, and they even get some fake flowers or real flowers, and they get fake lobsters, and they really zhuzh it up. They have the wine glasses full. Maybe they stage a little coffee corner with a book and a throw, and capture those small details. And again, outside, perhaps you've got a hot tub, switching the hot tub on, getting some evening shots with the lights on, making it all cozy, making sure the wood burner's lit. All these things make such a huge difference when you compare it to photos, which, even if they're taken by a professional but they're not staged, it doesn't quite have the same effect, and it's really important if you want to boost your bookings. So if you haven't looked at your photography in a little while, I would really encourage you to do that. It's a really small investment at the end of the day for a huge return. And ultimately, whether you're listing on an online travel agent or whether you have a direct booking website and are encouraging bookings that way, it's equally as important, no matter how you are advertising your property in the first place. So really important is photography. Now, my third point is having a direct booking website. If you want to make more profit in your business, one of the best ways to do this is to cut out on the commissions that we are paying to the online travel agents like Airbnb and Booking.com. And perhaps you are with an agency at the moment and you are spending a lot of money and losing out on a lot of profit because you are paying 20+% to someone who is managing your property for you and advertising it for you. And it's something which is really easy to do once you know how. And one of the ways to do this is setting up a direct booking website. And again, this might seem a little bit scary and overwhelming, but actually, It's really easy to do. There's so many platforms where you can build a website yourself, relatively low cost. There is also some fantastic website builders out there who specialize in building websites for holiday cottage owners and can integrate a property management system so that it can take guest payments and everything like that through your website and make it a really seamless experience. And they'll use your professional photography. It just gives you so much more control as well as an owner to be able to take bookings if you want to have your own cancellation policies, to have your own terms and conditions, and also to provide your guests an experience from start to finish, from before they even stay till after as well, because you have their direct details. Whereas if they book through an online travel agent, quite often you will not get their email address or their phone number, and it's a little bit harder to create that relationship with them, and to get that great review at the end of their stay. And also, a lot of people start their search for a holiday on Google. They might go to Airbnb or Booking.com first, but a lot of people also start their search in the search engines like Google and Bing and search for holiday cottages in Devon, for example. So having a presence there, if you don't already have this set up and you don't have your direct booking website, you are kind of missing a trick. And I would really encourage you to do that. So, as well as saving money, it will give you more control. Again, for a small investment up front, it can save you thousands in commission fees down the line. And a way, obviously, once you have your direct booking website set up, you need to drive traffic to your direct booking website. One of the ways to do this is through social media, which I'll talk about in a moment. Another way to do this, again, relatively easy, is setting up a Google My Business profile. So this is when you, again, search something. So perhaps, let me give an example. You're searching gyms in Salcombe, and then it pops up on the Google Maps with the little pins. And you can do the same for holiday cottages, place to stay in Salcombe. And once you have your Google My Business page set up, you will show it as a little pin, and people can then go through to your direct booking website, see what you offer, and book direct there. Another kind of customer journey that I'm seeing a lot at the moment is people are using Airbnb and Booking.com to see what properties are available for their dates, seeing what they might fancy. And then they are finding the property name, going to Google, searching and finding the direct booking website and booking direct, because they know that they can save money and more money goes to you as an owner as well. So that's the kind of experience I'm seeing at the moment. A lot of people are being more wary about where they're spending money and trying to save costs. And one of the ways to do that is booking direct. So another good reason to have your Google My Business profile set up to direct that traffic to your website. Another thing to keep in mind is your SEO, which is search engine optimization. I am actually got a guest coming into the Hive in November doing a training about SEO and the things that you can implement into your website, some kind of quick wins and things to look out for. So I won't get into that today because that's a whole another topic which I could spend all day talking about. But yeah, the main thing is, once you've got your direct booking website set up, is to drive traffic so people know about it and they can book their holiday direct through you. One of the ways to do this is through your social media. So my tip number 4 is to utilize social media. It's a free resource, which you can do paid stuff if you want to, but I really recommend that you just set it up for free and you just post organically to get the best results. And ultimately, again, it's just getting more eyes on your property and your offering. And you'll have the best results on social media. Again, if you go back to your target guest and know exactly who you are trying to target. You are not trying to target everyone that wants a holiday. You are trying to target perhaps Southwest Coast Path walkers. You are targeting families. You are targeting couples who want a romantic break. Maybe you're targeting hen parties. Whoever you're targeting, the messaging and the photos and the imagery, everything that you do will be slightly different depending on who you are trying to target. So go back to your target guest work that we did at the start of the episode and think about where they hang out as well on social media. It might be, if it's a younger crowd, they might be on TikTok. That's something you might want to look out for and have a little play with. Otherwise, Instagram is a really, that's my favorite platform, and I find most people are on Instagram at the moment. Facebook is also really good, especially if you are super clear on who your target guest is. For example, again, I had a lot of people walking the Southwest Coast Path. I was in the Facebook group, so whenever anyone was asking for accommodation in Salcombe, I could reply and give them my website link, which is a really good way to generate direct bookings. So once you've got your social media set up, it's really important that you optimize your profile and it's clear where guests can go to book their stay, making sure you have your website link there. And then really social media is just all about consistency. And consistent does not mean constant. It does not mean that you have to post every single day if that's not sustainable for you. Consistent just means picking a schedule that works for you and sticking to it. So if you can only commit to posting once a week, but you can be consistent with that, that is so much better than posting every day for a week and then nothing for 3 months, because the algorithm isn't going to like that. You're not going to get good engagement with your followers. You're not going to grow your profile. So consistency is really important. And it does take a little bit of time to grow your social media channels. So just be patient with it and keep going. And the other thing to think about when you're doing your social media is actually to be social. I see so many owners posting on social media all the time, but they will never reply to a comment. They will never reply to a direct message. And they're really missing a trick, because social media is exactly that. It's there to be social and to engage with each other and to build that relationship with your potential guests. So engaging, so commenting on other people's posts, commenting on other people's stories, and also replying to comments on your own posts, but also encouraging people to comment on your posts and asking them a question so that they are engaging with you is a really good way to boost your engagement on social media. Perhaps I need to do another podcast episode on social media alone, because I've got a lot to say about that. But hopefully it gives you some pointers on what you should be doing with social media. Finally, my final tip for boosting your bookings is setting up an email list. Email is so powerful, and a tool which is very often underrated. I hear a lot of people talking about social media all the time and come to me wanting help with their social media or wanting to know how to use Instagram. But emails are really slept on, to be honest, and are a fantastic way to generate more bookings, but also more direct bookings. So those bookings are far more profitable. Again, you've probably noticed that having bookings through Airbnb or booking.com, you do not get your guests' email addresses, you do not get their phone numbers. That's because it is so valuable to those online travel agents. So they want to keep their email addresses and phone numbers because they invest a lot in email marketing. And it is really powerful. It also means by collecting your guests and your social media followers as well, by collecting their email addresses, you're not having your eggs all in one basket. And if anything was to happen with Instagram, with Facebook, with TikTok, with Airbnb or booking.com, you haven't got your eggs all in one basket and you're kind of protecting yourself. You still have that database of potential customers to reach out to and to encourage people to book your property. It also means that you can have that direct communication with your guests. So instead of, doing it through social media and hoping that the algorithm shows them the posts that you have done promoting a particular weekend that you have available, for example, it's probably the only way that you can actually really directly target your marketing to your target guest. So these are people that have signed up to your newsletter, or perhaps they've even stayed in your property before, which is another really important point. Email is fantastic for converting or for generating repeat bookings. So once someone has already stayed with you, they've already got that amazing experience because you've done a fantastic job of setting everything up so they have a great stay. Once you email them, they are much more likely to book again with you, especially if you offer them a little discount perhaps. But email, it's a really, really powerful tool. So if there's one thing that you do today and you have a list of all your potential guests or previous guests even, I would encourage you to send them an email today and just pop in and tell them what availability you've got, maybe that you've opened your 2025 calendar, and just giving them a little nudge to book their holiday and generate some more bookings. It can be a really, really easy win. So, a quick episode today. That is my 5 top tips for generating more bookings. As I said, I can talk about each of those subjects for an hour in themselves. So maybe I need to do some more solo episodes, especially on social media and email marketing. I could talk a lot about that. I also wanted to let you know about the Host Marketing Academy. So, those of you who have been following me on Instagram for a little while will remember that I launched the Host Marketing Academy back in September 2023. And I have decided to bring it back again, but with a little change, a little upgrade. So last year I ran it as a 6-week program, which was great. Everyone really enjoyed it. They got a lot out of it, but actually I felt that everyone that was on board needed a little bit more support and hand-holding, and they wanted that guidance for a longer period. So it's now going to be a 5-month program, where we check in bi-weekly. You'll have a little training. I'll kind of be there to keep an eye on your social medias and say, I love what you're doing with that reel. That's fantastic. Next time, try this. It is going to be a really, really fun sort of mini mind. So it will be really limited with hosts. It won't be a big group so that we can really focus on you and your business and your property, but also so that you can network with other hosts who are in a similar position to you and want to generate more bookings and invest in their marketing for the future, because they know that they have to stand out amongst the competition to get more bookings for the years ahead. So that's the Host Marketing Academy. It's going to start on Tuesday, the 12th of November. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's £100 a month, or £500 if you pay up front. And there is also a free social media audit if you pay up front too. So super excited about that. I'll put the link for the Host Marketing Academy in the show notes. I hope to see some of you there. That's everything for me today. I hope this has given you some ideas of what you can do to boost your bookings right now, and I will speak to you next week.